I think it's about time you outed yourself, don't you?
The time has come.
Okay, so who's going to explain where you fit in, you or me?
You could probably.
All right,
sum
so
it up
there's
better.
this guy who's the most hated motoring journalist in the universe ever.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you've been working for him for several years now as the website editor, but it's a bit like coming out of the closet, isn't it? You know, once everyone knows, you can't stuff it back in. It's out of the box.
No, it's
Pandora all over again.
It's a one-way.
Yeah, okay, so you're the website editor of autoexpert.com.au, and you've got your own thing as well on the side, which is Best Family Cars, which is, tell me about that.
It was basically my best attempt to try and help struggling parents like myself in 2018, as I found just there was very little resource out there for tired parents that have 1,000 other things to worry about.
Yeah, time poor, and they got no interest in cars fundamentally, except they want a good one.
Exactly, and then they have the task of fitting a child restraint, which is spaghetti bolognese of straps and buckles and an overload of information for consumers who are already overloaded with.
Well, that's it.
Life's
Like, how many
ordinariness.
child restraints do you reckon are fitted out there in the world, and they're just done wrong, badly, like with a lot of slack in there? And I'd hate to be that kid in that crash. And you'd never forgive yourself if you're a parent, but how do you know you've done it wrong?
Well, exactly. You don't know unless you're shown or taught. And there was a fantastic piece of there was a fantastic piece of research done by Kids Safe Victoria. They fitted something like 20,000 or reinstalled 20,000 restraints. I think it was in over a 2-year period, and something like 80% of them were all installed incorrectly, or that they'd missed something or whatever. So,
why am I not surprised? It's like when the cops stop caravanners. You know, when they, on a major highway in FNQ or something, and they pull all these caravans over and 85% of them are overloaded, like, knock me down with a feather. Olight's Christmas sale is on right now and winds up on the 18th of December at midnight. Now, I support Olight on this channel because I've used their product for years and I love it. This is my somewhat abused Warrior Mini 2, which sadly I am about to retire. Not because it's not totally reliable and just belts out brilliantly bright light whenever I need it. It still does that, and it foreseeably still would, just because a better option has come up for EDC, one of their new releases, which I've been trialling and I really love. So we'll get to that in just a second. In fact, I've got 5 great Christmas options for you, and I will get through them as quickly as possible. This is the torch I've been trialing. It's the Arc Pro Ultra, and for a great many reasons, it's just the perfect EDC for me. It's got 7 different light combination options because it's got a floodlight and a UV light and a spotlight and a laser pointer, and you can use the laser pointer with or without the other 3 options, making a total of 7 different combinations. It's made from this mad aluminium alloy that they call OAL for Olight Aluminium, which is like 73% stronger than 6061 aluminium. It's got a great coating that's really tough. It's magnetic base rechargeable, but also there's a metal door here with a USB-C port, which I'm sure you can see right there. And that means you can charge it essentially anywhere, and you don't need a bespoke cable if one is not handy. It's got a really secure pocket clip, and it's much slimmer in the jeans, right? So it's easier to carry, even though functionally it's superior in so many ways. So anyway, that is a great option for Christmas. If you were only going to buy one torch in the Olight range, it would be the Arc Pro Ultra. Next is the diminutive O-Clip Pro, which has one superpower above all others, and you can see it right here. It's tiny, dude, so there's no excuse for not carrying it. The bigger the torch, of course, the greater the disincentive to carry it, which makes it fairly useless if you really need a torch and you decided not to carry it because it's so big and bulky. No excuses, dude. Carry this everywhere. It's got 3 different lights. It's got a spotlight and a floodlight and a red light for night vision preservation. It'll also flash the red light at you and do all this sort of stuff, so that's great. If you've got a flat tyre, you can just sit it on the ground there and angle it wherever you want. If you want to illuminate the engine bay of your car, congratulations. It's also magnetic, so that's kind of versatile. It's USB-C rechargeable. There's a door in the side, so you don't need a bespoke cable to charge this baby. You can use it for bushwalking and things of that nature by clipping it to your clothing or the strap of a bag, leaving both hands free to do whatever. Here's the Perun 3, which as you can see is a 90-degree flashlight, making it so much easier to hold for long periods of time walking at night if your objective is just to illuminate the track ahead. It's got 5 different modes, I think, of white light, but also a few different modes of red light for night vision preparation. And another big trick, it comes with a elastic head rig so that you can just rotate it like that, stick it on your head, an instant head torch, which is great for roadside repairs and things of that nature. Here's the Seeker 4 Pro, which comes in this brilliant black plastic holster. The holster's got a couple of neat tricks. Great retention on your belt because it's a bit too big to shove in your pocket. Great retention of the torch into the holster just by elastic strain, right? So there's no clips to undo. It just slips in and out, just Goldilocks, nice and positive enough without being hard to draw. And if that's not enough, the base of the holster also features a USB-C charging adapter. So if you need to, you can charge up essentially anywhere. You can also charge by the standard Olight supplied USB-A to magnetic charging cable. This thing is bright too, like 4,000 lumens, and you can't accidentally turn it on without rotating the switch a little bit first. Then you can steplessly dim from real dim, like without ruining your night vision, dim to super bright with 260 meters of throw. So this is a great torch, this Seeker Pro 4, for outdoor adventuring. And finally, here's the 3rd generation of the O-Pen, the O-Pen 3. This thing has not 1, not 2, but 4 different lights built into it, so I'll run through them for you now. There's one in the end of the pen, which is nice and dim, like it's just right for finding your keys inside a bag or something of that nature without blowing your retinas out. There's also, let's do this, there's also a laser pointer, so if you're a vitally important business development manager and you use PowerPoint, this will be just right for you. And finally, in the middle of these 2 settings, there's a white light for looking at the lock and the door and getting the key in or something of that nature. And if you turn that off and double press and go again, night vision preserving red light, dude. So that's pretty clever. These things write really well. I should mention that, yes, they are also a pen and they write brilliantly. Even if you're a lefty like me and writing conventionally is not really designed for us. We're only 10% of the population after all. But anyway, this goes some way to solving that because they are a pretty low friction nib and they're tough. So you could, I don't know, beat, stab, puncture 100 different zombies to death one morning and then still crank up the pen and sign the divorce papers in the afternoon or something. So, story of my life, really. These O-Pens are really good. They're great for travel because they're one device that does the job of a couple of different devices and they don't ping you as some sort of would-be miscreant at airport security. The Olight Christmas sale on right now. Big discounts until midnight on the 18th. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to give you a more detailed review of my new favourite everyday carry, the Arc Pro Ultra. You've done a really interesting project. In fact, you're halfway through it as I see it. You've taken a Kia Tasman X line, which is one from the top, one down from the top.
Yes.
And you're going to tow it about 2,000 you're going to tow with it for about 2,000 kilometres with your shitbox Falcon on a car trailer behind.
That is correct. Yes,
Melbourne to Sydney and back, sort of.
Melbourne
The
to
long
Sydney
way.
and Sydney to Melbourne via Gippsland in regional Victoria, because I'm a
Glutton for punishment.
glutton for punishment. So yes, it's going to be an even longer trip back.
But you're about halfway, yeah?
Yes.
The mighty Millennium Falcon that you can see hanging out the back of the Kia Tasman all the way from Melbourne to Sydney and back got here so that I could help Scott in a few minor ways prepare that vehicle for the 2026 Winter Shitbox Rally, which goes from Mildura to Townsville over 7 days and raises money for vital cancer research. Scott's lost a few people in his life to the Big C, sadly. My father has the Big C's, had it for 3 years, and he's only with us today because vital cancer research has yielded some brilliant new immunotherapy drugs. So money matters in this fight, basically. It strikes me that if 20,000 people were to watch this podcast and only 1 in 4 of them could afford just $1 to donate to this cause, Scott would absolutely meet his minimum obligation to raise $5,000 for this cause. And we could all feel a bit good about ourselves for Christmas, having done just a little bit to kick that insidious motherfucker of a disease in the slats. I'll put a link in the description just down there. If you can find it in your heart to donate, then great, but no pressure because I know things are a little bit tough right now. Okay, so how did it tow?
It's been a really interesting experience.
Powertrain? Was the powertrain up to it? Because the engine is criticised for being underpowered. What do you think of that?
It's not excellent.
It's not a V6 Ranger.
No, it's not a V6 Ranger, but there is definitely
sufficient power.
Sufficient power. It's got plenty of
110 all day long on the freeway. That sort of thing.
Uphill, long slopes. All around between Goulburn and Sydney. All those really long, steep.
How's the powertrain integration for towing? Like, does it select the right gear most of the time,
or what? It's always in the right gear. Every time.
That's my assessment of it. I've not towed with it.
Every time.
It's the best thing. There are two best things is NVH suppression in the cabin and space. And the cabin is awesome except for that ridiculous square steering wheel, right? And feel free to disagree just because I'm the boss.
I do have a point to make about that.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
My understanding of your towing assignment is your shitbox EB, is it? EB? BF, sorry.
Yes.
BF Falcon, and it's 1,700 kilos, and you got like a 600 kilo trailer, so that's 2.3 tons.
2.3 tons,
which is well under the 3.5 maximum.
Yes. And
we measured the tow ball download yesterday at about 260-ish.
Correct. Yes.
Kegs.
260. With the trip up, I actually had it a little bit nose heavy, so it was actually pushing about 280 on the tow ball.
But still well inside the 350.
Well inside the 350. And, what did you notice?
So stability. How was the stability?
Stability was okay, actually. It was pretty compliant. There were a few little sort of squirrely moments that were more related to wind buffeting and just slight changes of direction, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything. Didn't invoke trailer sway or anything dangerous like that. But
trailers are always heavy trailers are always like that.
You don't drive without.
You don't drive without a little bit of squirreliness and that. Like you wouldn't be having the full fucking adventure, would you?
Correct. And that's a really good point about why you need to be paying absolute attention at all times. Just because that stuff does go on. It's a very dynamic situation.
I was going to say, don't hit the table too hard. It's unreceptive to that. You break your freaking hand. Getting it in here was so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what we discovered yesterday, because I'm looking at the trailer going back on the car after we'd done those hideous jobs, with the replacing the bottom ball joint on the right and the serpentine belt, which wasn't that painful, but the ball joint, fucking hell. Anyway, brought me way back. I was 2 decades back in my life thinking, what the hell am I doing here again? Anyway, we did that successfully, got the car back on the trailer, and then the arse of the Tasman is sinking.
Yes.
And I jump under the car and have a look, and it's sitting on the bump stop at the rear. right? Both bump stops, and I look up at the chassis rail, and the chassis rail is polished from bump stop contact.
Yeah, about
Right?
900 k's worth of polishing.
Yeah. So that's generally regarded as bad. And in fact, I made a list of the reasons why sitting on the bump stops is bad. And I'm going to raise it with Kia because I know they're technical dudes pretty well and they're good blokes. But generally, and this might be the exception to the rule, but generally, you got no suspension travel left because the bump stop on the Tasman is just your conventional rubber pyramid, right?
Yes.
And it's sitting down on the spring and facing up at the chassis rail, pyramid up,
Yeah.
And you got no suspension travel left because it's like a solid block. It's not one of those assist bump stop thingos inside a coil spring. It's not that. It's just a solid block of rubber. So there's no suspension travel left. The steering response is kind of restricted because when you're in contact with the bump stop, you've got maximum sag at the rear, and that means headlights up at the sky kind of thing at the front. That's bad for response. If you got to, and push. It'll understeer like crazy if you're too fast into a bend, which you should never be with a 2.3-tonne caravan. But hey, beard strokers,
yes,
right. And then there's the stability downgrade as well, which you think is not too bad, at least on the freeway. At highway speeds, you're at 110 most of the time.
Yeah.
Component stress on dampers and the eyes of the springs and the spring hangers, and bushes cop a bit of a pounding like that as well. And not to mention the bump stop, which is not designed to be a load-bearing component. No. It's meant to be a worst-case shock absorber.
Yep. It's the point of last return. No return.
Plus, there's continuous sort of loads on the chassis in that region, which are, probably undesirable as well. So I'm going to raise that with Kia because the thing about that is you've got like 90 kilos of tow ball download to go in reserve in the fucking tank.
Yeah.
Right? So towing 3.5 tons, that's pretty interesting. But from a driving point of view, did it sound or feel dodgy?
It was uncomfortable.
How?
I wouldn't. It's juddering, vibration, and it's a problem because unladen, it's perfectly fine.
It's beautiful.
It drives like a Sorrento.
It's got one of the best unladen ride characteristics of all utes, I think.
It's sublime. If you don't actually have to have the enormous tool chest and stuff in it, but you need to put the odd heavy, bulky, weird thing in it. Often, moving house, for example, you're not going to push the weight limit, but you're going to have lots of weird, awkward stuff in that deep tray. It's great. It's beautiful. It feels like an SUV.
Yeah, but the tow ball download, and I got a problem with 90% of motoring journalists who do tow tests because they're just fucking hopeless at it. But you actually measured, and I watched you confirm the tow ball download on recouple. You've got your scale with you.
Yes.
And we're looking at 260, right? So I ran the numbers this morning on 260. And you have to appreciate, everyone has to appreciate if you're going to tow something heavy, that the worst place to impose load is way out the back because it's a lever over the rear axle.
Yeah.
Right? So if you know the distance from the tow ball centre line to the front axle centre line and you know the wheelbase, you can calculate the increase in tow ball download using Newton's first law. And I did that. So 260 on the tow ball download in that Tasman is equivalent to 370 on the rear axle because of leverage, right? It's a lever. Yeah. It's just like a big spanner pushing down, right? Yeah, exactly. But you've still got all of that in the tank, right? And then I thought to myself that the tow bar, which is a genuine accessory on that car, so it doesn't come standard, it's about 50 kilos and it's out the back as well. So it's about 60 kilos. And your very fat self and your very fat equipment probably totaling about 150 kilos in the middle of the wheelbase. Right?
Camera gear, tools, snacks. And
all of that. So that's conservative. Yeah. That's 75 on the rear axle. 75 on the front, 75 on the back, say. So that the curb weight imposed on the rear axle is about 1,030. I based that on the curb weight of 2,223 kilos, so 2,223 kilos, and roughly a 54 to 46 split, which is a kind of average of most dual cab utes. Okay, so we're in the ballpark, right?
Yep.
So 1,030 of the curb weight is on the rear axle, plus your plus the 75 from you and your gear, and the 60 from the tow bar, and the 370 from the download is 1,535 kilos, and the rear axle weight limit on that car is 2,040. So we're only 75% of the way to the rear axle weight limit. And my question is, why the fuck is it sitting on the bump stops at 75% of the rear axle weight limit?
That's a very good question.
And I'm wondering if the balancing act in tuning this car, therefore, was unladen ride comfort. Let's make it feel like a Sorrento, because successfully, mission accomplished. I had an email which I thought was from a nut. Like, I get a lot of emails from nuts. Go figure. And this chap alleged to me that he was towing a really heavy van, like, beard stroke, a 3.5-tonne van kind of thing. And he was very concerned because it was sitting on the bump stops all the way to Carafa kind of thing, and had to stop at a beard stroking support, club like ARB for stiffer springs to deal with it kind of thing.
Yes.
And I discounted that as just being beard stroking numpty, but I might have to apologise to him.
It's like an AARB.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So that kind of worries me. I am genuinely worried that might be a serious problem for people towing, because you can hook up a trailer and drive down a smooth road at 110 k's an hour with the vehicle sitting on the bump stops just fine. But then if you get into rough road,
yes,
or you get in one of these compromised situations where you goof off mentally. You're looking at some chick on the side of the road and you run the wheels off into a pothole, and one side hits a pothole, blah, blah, blah. There's 1,000 different combinations. Kangaroo in front, you go out to lunch and decide to swerve at 110, which you probably should never do without the driver training, and certainly not with a big, heavy trailer on the back, blah, blah, blah. That could end badly.
Yes. Oh, look at those windmills.
Yeah, those wind turbines saving the planet.
They're so big.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a concern of mine. I was not expecting it to.
You notice this resonance though, driving along, yeah, or some sort of
we would be on the phone, or I was on the phone to someone, and it's your stuff is.
Yeah, getting this sort of low level vibration that's normally not there.
Yeah, I'm just going across the Gundagai Bridge.
Yeah, right. Because you do start to worry when you get that kind of feedback and you're towing, don't you? Like, you worry if it's a bearing about to shit itself, or you wonder if you've got a tyre that's slowly deflating, and this, like I drive along. When you're on a mission, you got something heavy on the back, you are hyper vigilant if you know what's good for you, and that kind of thing is continuously worrying. You get out and check the temperature of the bearings with the back of your hand or something, and she's all good, and you wonder what you're missing.
Yeah, you particularly audible signals is what you're waiting for. It's obviously going to be something audible you hear first. It's unlikely it's going to be, unless it's the car coming off the back or the trailer,
or overtaking you.
Or overtaking you.
Have you seen that boat? Have you seen the video of that boat that comes off?
Yeah, it was an Aussie version of Bad Boys 2. You sunk a boat on the freeway.
It did 2.5 pirouettes, overtaking at probably higher than the speed limit on a highway, downhill, with the boat in the wrong spot on the trailer.
Well, but based on how much distance he had, how fast the car in front was going, and the road ahead, there's no way he would have been able to complete that turn without exceeding the speed limit downhill into that gully, and then
the Venturi kicks in and sucks the trailer one way, and that's your little incipient instability generator. And you get the big pendulum, and all of a sudden a boat is overtaking the car, which is sliding down the road on its side. And the only reason we're all yucking over it is because no one else was coming the other way.
That's right.
You don't expect that, do you? You've done thousands and thousands of highway kilometres like me and everyone else. You don't expect a spinning boat in your coming towards you on the wrong side of the road.
No.
Yeah, you don't even play that what if game. You play the what if game. What if a kangaroo hops out? What if I have a blowout?
Yeah.
Right.
What if the Ford Falcon that's been tailgating me from Melbourne suddenly disappears from my rearview mirror?
Yeah. So I think that's in the public interest. That's a really interesting discovery with the Tasman. And I think we need to raise it with Kia next week. We need to just say, hey, and we didn't do it this like two dickheads. We actually measured the download and it was well inside the 350 limit and the fucking car is sitting on its bump stops.
Yes.
How does that work? Are we missing something?
Not to mention, I didn't put anything in the tray.
No, the tray's empty. That's right.
There was one witch's hat in the back, which I just stick out the back of the trailer so no one...
Yeah, well, I think we could give you approximate zero on the way to the witch's hat and its impact on the rear suspension, right?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing in the tray.
Yeah.
You had an extension cord in the back.
And what annoys me is that I hate watching tow tests where they put the big heavy caravan on the back, they max out the towing capacity or very close to it, and then they put nothing in the rest of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, that annoyed me because I knew I didn't have much in the vehicle, so I brought as much stuff as well. I had to bring tools, I had to bring food. I wasn't bringing the rest of the family and a week's worth of eskies and camping gear.
Mind you, if you are towing 3.5 tons, there's pretty much fuck all you can carry in the vehicle.
Exactly.
Right? You've got to be, it's very hard to do that in practice. And that's why I was interested to see how your tow test just now with the Shipbox Falcon played out, because that's a more realistic. You could have 2.3 tons and the family and some crap in, like
exactly.
Like we've got 500-ish kilos notionally of rear axle load limit to go.
Yeah,
we'd probably blow the GCM before that. I don't know. I'd have to run the numbers on that. But just in terms of overloading the rear axle, which matters from the point of view of the bump stop issue, right? You got 500 kegs in the tank.
Yeah,
of reserve.
Yeah, haven't installed the kids' restraint. Haven't put him in it. Haven't put the dearly beloved
recovery kit. 40 litres of fuel. 40, 50 litres of water.
Didn't even have a slab of beer in an esky.
Oh, Jesus, that's un-Australian.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
it's
you can get stopped for that. Defected.
Yeah, there's
no beer in the car. We got one over here, Trev.
What concerns me is that I wanted to put in. Let me rephrase. What concerns me is that people are not going to check this kind of numbers game. They're not going to run the numbers.
Most people don't measure the tow ball download. They just go, it's got 10%. It looks like 10%, Trev.
They're just going to stick the trailer on and throw. Or there's their rack of 4 spare tires in the back.
Because she'd be right. She'd be right, mate.
Yeah,
looks all right.
And of course, where you go to your layman's motorsport events, they're never on a completely flat road. They're in the hills, aren't they? They're on some back road somewhere a long way from
racetracks are always in the asshole of the universe. They just are.
And they couldn't be any further from a hospital.
And it's either 50 degrees or minus 20. Have you ever noticed at a racetrack?
Yes. Yeah. It's either bone dry or pouring with rain.
Yeah. Yeah. And like hell or the Arctic Circle. Could learn a thing or two from this racetrack kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The hilarious thing to me is if you'd been stopped and weighed, you would have passed with flying colours. Well under the tow limit, under the GVM, well under the GCM, well under the rear axle weight limit. So anyway, let's move on and talk about, we'll stay in the club Kia. We might as well have them hating us both, not just me for a change. You had a Carnival hybrid. So you like the Carnival hybrid?
I love the Kia Carnival. It is my favourite family car.
Well, best family cars.
It is probably the best family car. However, I'm concerned about the hybrid because it's actually a very appealing powertrain. It works in all the right places, except when you get a puncture.
Yeah, so that happened to you.
Yes, it happened to me. First thing you notice is, all right, pull over, gonna do this at the roadside. Changed many flat tires over the years.
The shitty thing about the Carnival, standard Carnival, not the hybrid, is that the flat tire is under the driver's seat, which means that your ass is out in traffic extracting it.
True.
That's an unfortunate artifact from being designed for the left-hand drive world.
Yeah. One way to solve that, I found, is because of the generous legroom in the second row, you get in from the other side and walk across and unwind the from the cap. You take the cap off and unwind the thing, but you still have to.
It still comes down on the driver's side.
Yes.
Yeah. So the takeaway with that is when you get a flat tire, any flat tire in any car, pull off as far to the side as you can, and if you have to drive another 500 meters to get to a safe spot, don't risk your life just for the sake of preserving a tire.
Yes.
You see people get killed all the time. Like, it makes the news. Some young bloke got killed helping some chick with a flat tire recently. I think I read on the news in the past year or so, and it's just a tragedy because Good Samaritan trying to do the right thing, help someone out, maybe get laid later, whatever. And and just get cleaned up because they're in the wrong spot, right? So you gotta do that calculus first. But anyway, let's go back to you and your Carnival hybrid. So the powertrain's good, the fuel economy's good, it all functions great.
Yeah.
But the hybrid powertrain's been retrofitted to an existing design, and they had to throw the spare tyre under the bus to do it.
Yeah, so got down on the ground in my not chaotic street, but reasonably busy. Only sometimes they treat it like Conrod Straight.
Mm-hmm.
Lay down and look up on it. No spare tyre. Joy. But what's good to see is there's big, thick orange cabling running in the
where the spare tyre would have been.
Well, yeah.
Mother lovers.
So I would have liked to have seen them go literally anywhere else and keep the spare tyre. That would have been great.
So it's been ditched for some high voltage cabling.
Yes.
That's the trade-off.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe an extra half a metre of copper cabling could have kept the spare tyre.
Yeah, but it's like 400 volts. So, if you're moving large amounts of current at 400 volts, you need properly thick cables. And some bean counter doubtless got involved in that and said, well, we could save half a metre of cable times however many vehicles.
Yes. Yeah, which is a problem if you are, I don't know, a single mum with 6 kids, or just a regular mum with...
If you're anyone, if you're just a dad out to get the milk, because it turns a 5-minute job at the side of the road, or 10 minutes at the side of the road, into flatbed tow truck extraction.
Correct.
Right?
And that was the only solution that meant...
How is this a step forward? Like, there are so many cars now with no fucking spare tyre.
It's not a step forward. It's a very expensive step back.
This was done, right? I'm sure this is just a cost-saving thing, like, or the retrofit, what can we bin? Spare tyres disposable, This is basically done on the pretext of these cars will be used in the city, but it's an infinite pain in the ass in a city because you can be on the road and mobile again with a hateful frickin' space saver. No problem. In 10 minutes. If you're in the city, you can get home and then go to the nearest tyre shop the next day and say, oh, I need a tyre, mate. And they look after you. That's fine. Flatbed tow truck extraction not required.
Exactly.
So would you buy one? Would you put up with that risk? How often do you get a flat tyre? Are we just being fucking girls about it?
Well, that is a very good question. I genuinely personally have not had a flat tyre in a long time.
I generally get one after I replace tyres on a car I own, like the day after. And then good for eternity after that.
Yeah.
That's just reality.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's a very...
God's just up there looking down going, he doesn't believe in me.
It's frustrating because there's so much that car gets absolutely right, including...
You can have an arse on every seat and room for luggage in a Carnival, and it's much more practical than a hardcore 4x4 if you don't do hardcore 4x4ing. It's a great car.
It's a beach car.
It looks tough. It looks tougher than a Tasman. If I was Batman, I'd rather drive a Carnival than a Tasman. It looks tougher.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. Yeah.
Like they really.
You could take and just put
You
it on.
could. You could. Every artist who rendered a independently, like a privateer rendering in Photoshop or Illustrator or something, did a better job than Kia on Tasman's front end.
Since I was in high school, I can sit there with a piece of paper, just draw the same Ford Falcon V8 supercar from the early 2000s, and I can just draw it perfectly the same, and it looks fantastic every single time. I go, yep, I could have.
Yeah. Okay, so harking back to the Tasman and the square wheel, you want to disagree with me about the wheel. You think the wheel's great, and I'm happy. Like, I'm happy to have, and the audience can jump in on this too. If you're watching at home, like if you are, watching this at home, get into the comments, and if you want to be as right as me, that's fine. If you want to be as wrong as Scott, like, go for it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care.
The one exception, I do agree.
No, don't be soft about it.
I found one useful aspect of it. Now, I pride myself on being able to reverse a trailer very well.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to do it when I was 10, my dad on the farm, etc. So, hand at 12 o'clock on the flat part of the top of the steering wheel.
Oh, you can feel the flat.
You can feel the flat.
Yeah, right.
And as you're correcting out your mirrors and over the back window, you without actually looking at the wheel.
Yeah, or you could
know where the center point is.
Or you could just fucking sit there and look at the mirrors and the camera.
That is also true.
And hold the wheel where it's meant to be held, kind of just counterpointing it.
I do like to make a point in my videos that two things can be true at once.
No, they can't. Harking back to the Tasman, how is the ADAS? Annoying as shit or tolerable?
It's tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how patient a person you are.
I had some freaky things happen with the ADAS, but you go on.
Well, so I like the fact that you can just turn it off with the button on the steering wheel and hold it down and the lane keeping goes off.
Oh, yeah. And the speed alert.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do. It would be nice if the layout of the controls were on the correct side. So vehicle operations controls were on the right-hand side and the entertainment stuff was on the left.
It's another artifact for us being
correct
driving on the wrong side. Yeah.
It's lucky we're such good drivers and we're ambidextrous and all that.
Australia, renowned for it.
But doing a 3-point turn out the front of my son's school. Now, acknowledge that it is a bit of a slightly shifty maneuver to be making, but it is perfectly legal to pull into a driveway, wait for the traffic, and then reverse back out into the car park, as opposed to doing a U-turn over double white lines in a school zone.
Generally bad idea, yeah.
But on pulling out, I noticed that pulling out of the car space where I parked, waiting for the traffic to go past, waiting for my moment, and then as I squeeze on the throttle, I'm clearing the vehicle in front. I go to pull out, and the auto braking jams on and scares me half to death. I think, what have I hit?
Yeah.
Because
what did I miss is a real switch in your head, right?
Exactly.
What the fuck did I miss?
Did I not see something?
Especially if you pride yourself on paying attention. Jesus, it's like what
and
did I miss?
As a motoring journalist that actually needs to be taken seriously, you got to take driving seriously. And the corners, front and rear, are the single most important, in my terms, when parking, especially low speed maneuvers.
Yeah,
it's all about the corners because you can see what's in front and behind. But so it must have done it 3 times.
Okay, so the driveway from hell just out the door here, right? Real workout, blah blah blah.
Yes.
You just get yourself a 24-kilo kettlebell and walk up and down it 20 times, and then collapse in a heap, right? Who needs a gym? The Triton backs up, no problem, every time. And admittedly, the Triton is a little more compact than the Tasman.
It's about that much narrower.
There's only a B's endophallus in it, right? But the Tasman gets up here just fine in all-wheel drive mode, no problem. But roughly a third of the time, it does this mad off-its-tits auto-braking routine in reverse right at the start of the driveway when you back up, right? when the departure angle is compromised on approach for the incline. So the apron across the pedestrian footpath is relatively flat, and then you get to the in reverse, it's an approach angle, but it compromises the departure angle of the car. Nothing touches, right? But the autonomous emergency braking goes off its tits about 1 time in 3, and I can't get it to repeat. I can't get the variables lined up. So it's right on the cusp of whatever the auto braking threshold is. And sometimes for some freaking reason, it's over the line, and the other 2/3 of the time it's not. And it's very fucking frustrating.
Especially when
you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off, and you know that there's no brick wall behind you that you're about to run into.
No kid, no car, no nothing to hit. And PS, backed up here 1,000 times, can do it like an extreme sport.
What I've noticed that makes it potentially dangerous is that when you go to do something similar, like a 3-point turn, or you've got to pull out of a junction or something, and it does that, and you've got a moment where you need to get on with it, as I did yesterday, pulling out from the tool shop, and it jams on the brakes. You go. I need to go. Like, with no time to muck around.
Seconds count, because even at 60, some cars coming towards you at 17 metres a second.
Yeah.
And if you lose a second, he's 17 metres closer. That's a third of an Olympic pool.
Exactly.
Right?
So the car's already misjudged and got it wrong.
Yeah.
Now I've got to override it and get on with it, because I'm in big trouble. And meanwhile, the guy behind you is probably thinks you're taking off and
brake testing him.
Goes.
So I've got an Outlander at the moment. Mitsubishi rang up and said, we'd like you to drive our Outlander Exceed. And I always go, really? You want me to drive it? Right. Anyway, I go,
brave of them.
I go, yeah, okay, great, love to. Because they're really happy with the new suspension tune, right? And the new suspension tune is great. And the new tablet in the center with the Android Auto and all of that, and the connection seamless, really high visibility, great reversing camera, all of that shit. I'm driving along on Pennant Hills Road, which is like a main arterial road from Hornsby to Parramatta in Sydney, right? And it's all good. She's all good, right? You got the speed alert, and you've got all that stuff that you can tune out, right? I'm in the left lane, and a dude in front of me is turning into a side street. Okay, he's turning left into a side street directly in front of me. There's plenty of room, because I always drive a long way from the car in front, because good way to avoid snotting them.
Left foot on the brake, just
just covering the brake, blah, blah, blah. And there's plenty of room. So I just get off the gas and I'm coasting, and we are closing on the guy turning left, but it's not critical, and there's plenty of margin. And if someone had been in the passenger seat, they wouldn't have been leaving fingerprints in the armrest at this point,
Yay.
Fucking car jams on the brakes. Right? It's not close. I'm all for emergency braking if you're looking at, some hottie on the side of the road and kid steps out, or car jams on the brakes in front. I want a computer to save me. I want HAL 9000 to stop obsessing about the pod bay door and just bloody stop the car. That's great.
Yeah.
But these false alarms, they have to stop. They just have to. And the other thing is, that car has told me, it's given me a warning on the center information thingo and a beep to tell me, can't detect your face. And I go like this, still here, motherfucker. Right? That's unacceptable. I don't even need to know that the system, why does it need to tell me that it can't detect my face? Because the loss of my face is something that I would, while driving, is something that I would categorize as a low probability event.
Yeah. And that's,
does it need to tell you that? That's a system that's just badly designed and rolled out.
So whatever the algorithm is that these car companies are designing for that front radar, they've obviously tuned it to a point where they don't like that much distance closing at that rate.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, Toshi sits there and he's developed a series of benchmarks for the limit of, it's a binary proposition, act or don't, right? Yeah. So what are the inputs that lead to a triggering event to act, to apply the brakes? Or that's a threshold deal, right? Where's the threshold? But the deal about warning you that it can't detect your face, that's fucked.
Yeah. It's
systematically fucked. That warning doesn't need to exist.
no.
Because it's given me other warnings where, where you're driving and you turn right and it's a tight turn right. So your eyes go from straight ahead, because you should always, if you're not used to advanced driving, one of the things you learn in an advanced driving course is you always look as far down the road as possible, even if the road is out the side glass at the time. So turning right, look right, not a problem, okay? Beep. Please put your eyes back on the road. I go. That's soul destroying too.
So can you imagine?
It's not just the Mitsubishi, right?
No. In fact, so can you imagine in both my right and left mirror, which are correctly adjusted at all times, so that I can't see the vehicle down the inside of the mirror, but actually on this occasion, because I don't have towing mirrors, you don't need towing mirrors.
There's a camera there.
And sorry, so. Animated with the hands.
Yeah.
Go again.
No. Don't go again. Just keep going. We're going. Well, that's
so
in.
So you can.
That's in. All the fuck ups are in. That's the beauty of podcasting, dude.
Yay! You can imagine the stress factor for me coming down the Pacific Highway with Kia Tasman, which is already a little bit wider than
She's
most
a beefy
utes.
car.
Yeah, and I've got in left mirror trailer wheel arch tire, like outside the track of the Tasman. Right hand, I've got track. I'm clipping the cat's eyes down both lanes
virtually continuously. Right?
I have about an inch of margin on either side.
Yeah.
And
if you've never towed a car, it's the most stressful thing.
Yeah,
because the trailer is so wide,
and
plenty of arterial roads have been. They started out as 2 lanes and they made them 3, and they did that by putting 3 of the narrowest lanes they could get away with in place. With all of those, they got those right turn lanes in the centre where you go back to 2. And that's hard to negotiate.
I love driving in Sydney.
It's perfect,
I
isn't it?
love driving in Sydney.
Everyone's so friendly too. There's so many people. You've got to be friendly. Otherwise,
Yeah. So my eyes are in left mirror, right mirror, rear view mirror, rarely, but just to make sure that the Falcon's still tailgating.
It's always
behind.
nice, to have the car there.
Left mirror, right mirror, constantly. Just speed. Speed. Oh my God, there are cameras everywhere in this joint.
Yeah, it's soul destroying. The amount of vigilance you need to do something like that. Like there should. I don't understand how you can be the dude, the critical sort of human resources dude in a company driving a Yaris to work every day for 20 years, and then you buy a Land Cruiser and a 3-tonne caravan and go off into the sunset with the same license. How does that work?
Yeah, no, not even cursory software upgrade for you driving.
1-day course.
Yeah.
Heavy towing.
Yeah.
If you need to tow a trailer with brakes or 2 tonnes, for 2 tonnes or more, here's your endorsement.
You could even charge a fee for it. You could even pay your local roads authority to do that course.
Yeah, that'd be way too hard. That'd be way too hard. Where's the evidence that that's needed? Come on.
So
it's cameras that save lives, dude. Come on.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about deleting diesel, because some car makers are all in on electrification and hybridization, and some other car makers like Mazda are red hot for developing a brand new inline 6 diesel engine that is actually a kick-ass engine.
Yeah, it's a stonker.
Yeah, and at a not insubstantial cost. So where are you on that? Because you've driven Santa Fe hybrid, right? Have you driven a plug-in hybrid Sorrento? No,
but I have driven the CX-60 and 90.
With that new 3.3, is it?
Yeah, diesel. And yeah, it goes like a bloody rocket. It's fantastic. And you think, why are we getting rid of diesel?
The interesting thing about getting rid of diesel, right, is that when you get a litre of crude oil, about half of it becomes gasoline and about a quarter of it becomes diesel. So that's just how it works when you distill it. Right. So it's not like diesel's optional. It kind of is a bit, because you can play chemistry tricks in a refinery. Like you can boost the amount of jet fuel and get a little bit less diesel because they're quite close together. The fractions are close together. right?
Right.
But diesel's part of it. If you want to extract hydrocarbons from crude oil, you get diesel. And you either get diesel and you deal with having diesel, or you do some really complex molecular reconstruction type tricks in the refinery. But diesel's part of it. So why are we getting rid of it? I don't know. It's probably because those criminals at Volkswagen trashed the reputation of diesel 10 years ago.
Yeah, that didn't help progress, especially because at the time, and in fact, even more recently, diesel progress has been fantastic. They're punchy, they're efficient, they're torquey, like they do all the right things.
Yeah.
And yet in Tucson, they got rid of the 2-litre diesel and
there's no diesel Santa Fe anymore.
No,
it's just a hybrid. The hybrid performs all right on paper, but the reality is that you can only get the combined outputs when the battery is in a sufficiently healthy state to deliver its output for the combined total, right?
Yes.
If you deplete the battery by towing up the side of the Eiger, the north face of the Eiger or something, then you're going to get to a point where the combustion engine's working as hard as it can possibly work. The battery's going to get depleted, and the combined performance of the powertrain will suffer. And that never happens with diesel because it can just deliver its 500 Newton meters all day long.
It'll just chug away. And yeah, so I towed a camper trailer with the Santa Fe hybrid, which I found to be quite a pleasant experience. It did really well. But the thing was, again, much to my own self-disgust, I didn't have much cargo on board. It was just me.
Yeah.
And I know that's wrong in terms of testing, in real world conditions. You should have some cargo on board. No one just hitches the camper on and takes no stuff with them.
No, that's all right.
But I just wanted to give it some cursory drive to see how the powertrain went, and towed it beautifully. The battery was filling in lots of the right places where, accelerating away from the lights. But you can see when the battery just doesn't have, the battery motor just can't do all the work. So the petrol motor kicks in, and it's pretty elegant the way they've designed it. It does all right.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So
anything heavier than that, anything heavier is going to be.
Let's talk elegance, right? What you're calling elegance is actually complexity, right? They're making complexity work, right? It's a complex system, much more complex than combustion only system.
Yeah.
Okay? So two things about that. Complexity is the enemy of reliability, and it's also the architect of substantial repair costs 15 years down the track, because everything, second law of thermodynamics says everything's fucked eventually.
Yes.
Right? So there's that. But if they do the engineering properly, there's no reason why these things can't be reasonably durable. Nuclear weapons are pretty complex. They don't typically malfunction while they're waiting around to be dropped on someone.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah, when they don't. Yeah. The bottom line there is, I think the decision to get rid of diesel is ideology. It's like marketing. It's a marketing type decision.
Well, and not again, the whole reputation of diesel was smashed by what Volkswagen did.
Yeah, those criminal bastards.
And the Hyundai Kia 2.2 is a fantastic little engine. Look at all the work that it's done for me.
Santa Fe's and Sorrentos and
it hasn't blinked at all. And even Mitsubishi's 2.4 has been good. It's been great.
The point is, we didn't get to the limit of diesel engine development.
Exactly.
We're doing it for the companies that are deleting diesel from their ranges are doing it for ideological reasons. And I think there's plenty of evidence that this mad ideological push for net zero, which is what underpins all of these decisions, like it justifies them. There's plenty of evidence now that there's pushback on that. Like, we're not going to be able to achieve that. Because guess what? It's a fantasy. I'm all for making things more efficient. If you can get another few % out of engine efficiency, great. If you can make the grid more efficient, fantastic. If we can make our transport system more efficient by making public transport acceptable to be on, where you don't get stabbed and it's free, great. Like, make it not shit and free, and more people will be on it. That means more driveways will be packed with cars that are not driving around our suburbs choking the joint up
Yeah.
because people will be on free public transport where they don't get stabbed.
That's what's great about living in Melbourne in the CBD or having to work in the CBD. Free trams everywhere. You can get 2 or 3 blocks easily within. You can either walk, which will take you 5-10 minutes, or you can be there in a few minutes, get on a tram. And it's free. It's bliss. Not that I
and the problem of crime's been solved too because machetes are illegal. That was a master stroke. Not Orwellian at all.
Don't ask me what I think about that, but
I think every sane person has the same, because there's no other implement that can be used for violence.
But good news, we've hang on, we haven't fixed the crime issue and the 40% uptick in vehicle thefts and break-ins, and so without getting too political, what I wanted to say about the whole diesel ideology thing is that I was thinking about this on the way over this morning. There's never a lot of pushback against repealing EPA type legislations. I notice there's no one. I haven't seen any car makers sort of put their hand up and say, "Oi,
what repealing have we done?"
Well, when the United States starts thinking about relaxing EPA regulations, I don't hear much cry from car makers. Hey, no, leave those in. We want to.
Well, I think people in Australia miss the point about emissions regulations. They're not just to make it harder to own a car or to give you systems under the bonnet that clog up your inlet tract, or they're about human health, because some of the worst chemicals that we get exposed to historically come out of exhaust pipes. Right?
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah. And there's actually been the best news story, the best untold news story about cars, in my view, is the 90 or 95% reduction, whatever it is, it's in that ballpark, in things like CO2. In things like carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Right? Like carbon monoxide used to kill you if you ran an internal combustion engine in an enclosed space, right?
Yes.
With a modern car, for example, that won't happen because the catalytic converter catalyzes the carbon monoxide out. At 95% of what would previously have been emitted is just catalyzed to CO2 now. It's not a good idea to suck on exhaust. It'll still kill you because carbon dioxide is a poison as well as an asphyxiant, but it doesn't kill you in the same tiny concentration that carbon monoxide does.
Yes.
CO2 is still a poison and you should not breathe exhaust, but there's been a dramatic reduction in things like unburned hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, all of the oxides of nitrogen that cause acid rain and shit like that, except in a Volkswagen because, that nasty business, which is what their cheat did. They just ran their diesels leaner and leaner and leaner, and the power and efficiency went up, but they produced a shit ton of oxides of nitrogen. That was their scam.
And all of this it ignores all the good engineering work that's been done with those car makers that have done really good DPF systems.
Oh, yeah.
They've cleaned up the combustion process.
Only hear about the unreliable ones, right? All of the ones that are functioning fucking perfectly.
Exactly.
Nobody's got a complaint about them.
Yeah. And it tars all the other good brands that have put in all the effort and
totally
spent millions and billions on making sure that their DPFs don't.
That's the lingering
implode.
thing about Dieselgate, is the tarnish on the reputation of diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel's just part of the fuel mixture. We'll never have a fleet of heavy trucks running on petrol or hybrids or electric or any of that shit, because that just doesn't work at that scale.
Yeah.
Diesel can't be phased out of the transport mix. It's like trying to phase coal out of the grid. It will not work.
Yeah.
You can make the grid more efficient. You can put wind farms in and solar panels on your house and things like that. There's no problem with that. But you can't replace the coal baseload. It's not possible, right? It's like can't get rid of diesel, can't replace coal. Just grow up.
Yeah. You stand on any freeway overpass and just look at the flow of traffic and you think, diesel's not going anywhere. It's everywhere.
Hydrocarbons aren't going anywhere. I mean, last time I looked, the sales of EVs were like 7% or 8%, whatever it is. It's going to take a long time to replace the 16 million light vehicles on the road when you're talking about 8% of 1 million vehicles a year. So 80,000 vehicles a year, we've got 16 million to replace. It's 160,000 every 2 years, 1.6 every 20 years, 16 million only take 200 years.
Give or take.
More or less, yeah. I'm sure these things will evolve. They're like nothing stays as constant, but people seem to think that it'll all be electric utopia. I've had ABC radio hosts, when you point this out, if you say, well, let's do a magic trick and increase the sales of diesels to 1 in 2, that's 500,000. Increase the sales of EVs to 1 in 2, that's 500,000 a year. That means in 32 years we'll have 16 million light electric cars on the road.
Good luck with that.
They go, I had no idea it would take that long. I thought it was going to be 2035 or something.
Yeah. And yet why isn't the majority of the EV sales in Australia the Hyundai Insta? I absolutely love that little car.
It's a fun car to drive.
It's fantastic.
And it doesn't take itself too seriously. And it's small. It doesn't have a ridiculous fuck-off battery. You can park it.
That takes 4 weeks to charge. Yeah. It makes sense for the task.
Yeah, electric vehicles need to be nasty little shitters. They need to be like nasty little glorified golf carts. And you're just going to go 3Ks to the shops and back. Okay.
Yeah.
You need like a 10 kilowatt hour battery.
And so you would be able to explain it better. Why is that a more efficient use of materials and energy to do those short trips in a small, compact EV as opposed to using Nana's CX-3 petrol engine or mum's SUV to take the kids to school and short trips, cold starts?
The thing is payload. Cars aren't efficient. Cars have never been efficient, right? You got 2-ton car out the front, and it's mainly carrying 80 kilos of you.
Yeah.
So the payload to mass ratio is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had a little electric trolley to go to the shops, that'd be more efficient per se than any car, just because how much payload. When you look at a truck like a B-double or something, it's mostly payload. The truck itself is heavy, but not in relation to the payload. The payload's fucking heavy in relation to the overall mass, as a proportion of the overall mass. And when you look at a container ship, the payload is fucking heavy. And the ship's heavy, but the payload is a huge chunk of the overall mass. This
much ship, the rest is just...
So when you maximise the payload as a proportion of the overall weight of the machine, then transport becomes efficient. And the reason you can get such a gain out of a tiny little EV is that tiny little EVs are easy to make, and if the thing weighs 500 kilos and is carrying 80 kilos of you, well, let's say it's what's an easy set of numbers? That's okay. If it's 500 kilos for the trolley, like little electric shopping trolley, literally, and it's carrying 100 kilos of people and gear, then that's 20% of the total weight is payload, right? Put the same 100 kilos in a 2-ton ute, right? Then it's 5%. So the ute's got to move all of that mass of itself to achieve the same payload movement through space and time.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes. It makes sense in my head, and
everyone needs a nasty little shitty electric trolley to go to the shops and back. Transport will be a lot more efficient if we did that.
It's moving a lot less of its own weight around.
But what the car industry does is make these ridiculous EV9s and Ionic 9s and Ionic 6s and
Polestar 3s.
Polestar 3, all of that shit.
Yeah.
They're all 2.5 tons.
Yeah.
They can't be efficient.
Tesla Model Y.
And the heavier you make an EV, the more battery you need just to move itself.
Yeah.
Right? And it's still only moving 100 kilos of you. So the efficiency ratio is shit.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. I love the Insta.
It's good. I really liked it too. If I was gay, I'd have one.
This
is hard for me to imagine.
There are very few cars that
I'm not denigrating being gay. I'm just saying it fits with the stereotype.
Yeah. There are very few cars that my 7-year-old wants to keep, doesn't want to return. Did not want me to return
because it's like a kid's toy.
It's great,
and kids love fucking carnils too.
They love carnivals.
I was talking to Roland Rivera, who's the he won't mind me dropping his name, and if he does, fuck him. But he's the product guy from Kia, who I'm going to raise the suspension issue with on the Tasman, right? But anyway, Roland's got a kid, and at the time when Stinger was a big deal, right? The kids are oblivious to Stingers and things of this nature, but he brings home a Carnival. It's like, oh, Dad, you got a Carnival. That's awesome kind of thing, right? Yeah. Kids are a bit like kids and cars are like when you take the dog for a walk. You know, when you take the dog for a walk, the dog gets it's the same walk, but the dog has a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Kids and cars are that. They have a completely different set of benchmarks about vehicles, what vehicles are fun, what vehicles are cool. You bring home a Stinger, it's like, oh, that piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
You bring home a Carnival, it's like, oh, Dad, you're a hero.
Because you can climb over the seats, you can sit in the middle if you like.
She's a jungle gym inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think you're done here, yeah? You got to go back and edit the website now.
Yeah.
And deal with the opprobrium of the entire industry now that your grubby secret's out.
Yes. Yeah, I look forward to the complete lack of emails and
being taken off various lists.
I don't think I was ever really on them, to be honest.
Yeah. It's overrated anyway, being on those lists.